Hello, how are you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. This is gonna be my first time actually streaming on this channel, so I hope you like it. Let's slideshow this. What we're doing today. Today we're gonna be analyzing the current bike lanes in South LA to make this as interconnected as possible, which you will see is not something that is currently done. Next, we are going to be upgrading the bike lanes. After analyzing the lanes, let's get to upgrading and adding new lanes. So, we're going to be looking at the traffic map right now, and we're also going to be looking at density, or at least perceived density, because I don't have any actual density maps, because that would be way too much work for me to do. Next, this is very important. If you hear something wrong with my mic, please tell me in chat. I'm using hardware encoding and hardware background audio purge, so there might be something wrong and that I do not know of. So yeah. Next, here is the key. Red. Red means that it is a bad bike lane, and I think it will be pretty self-explanatory. It is gonna be a class 2 lane with no speed calming or anything else. Light green is gonna be an okay lane, buffered class 2 lanes. Green is gonna be a good lane, class 4 without full protection. Say, Broadway, which I'm gonna show right now. Dark green, it's gonna be a great lane, and we don't have any of those. Next, we're gonna show the current lanes. Not my personal colors. God damn it, I messed that up for doing something else. Okay, next we're gonna do the personal colors, which aren't really integrated into an actual thing, so here they are. We're gonna do blue for a great lane that isn't a class 4, or it is a class 1 lane. Next we're gonna do teal, which is gonna be a Shero or a Calm Street that is actually decent. We also don't have any of those, because we live in South LA. Alright, let's get started. Okay, this is the map that I made 30 minutes ago. As you can see, a lot of preparation went into this, so yeah. Okay. If you don't mind the lagginess because I'm doing way too much crap, here you go. This is Hooper Avenue. Hooper Avenue is basically split into 2 lanes. It is gonna be this part, which is actually quite decent, which I'm gonna show right here. It is very nice. Nice buffered lane. I've ridden through here quite a few times, and it's really nice, like I just said. Very cool. It could be parking protected though, which is why it is a light green lane. But if we go further up, like I explained in one of my other videos, which was like, the perfect place for biking in LA is probably not what you think or something. I don't know. We get to here, this area of Hooper. Right here it narrows somewhat, so you could technically explain that, but it goes through a lot of schools like this, and this is just not safe. It also casually goes through a very crappy area right here. Like, the lane was tilted. I don't know how the county could mess that up. They built this using machines, and they couldn't figure that part out. I have no clue. They're just special, I guess. And then, if we go a bit more, which is where the middle school is, right here, and another elementary school, as explained in the previous video, ta-da, it is nothing. Which casually explains this traffic right here, as this is entrance time for that middle school. Imagine if there was bike lanes here somehow. Or at least traffic calming. Anyways, yeah, this is shit. I always ride on the sidewalk here. It also goes through a high school right there. Then it goes through here, which is another high school right here. And right here it becomes okay. Like, it's alright. It's the same thing as before, except made it narrower. So, yeah. But it has some buffering every once in a while, so I guess it's fine. It's fine as a red. Okay. So then we go to the good bike lanes, which is like Broadway right here. These aren't great, but they're not bad. So let's go to Broadway right here. Let's go where it widens because it's a lot better here. Right here, you can tell this is how it used to look. Very not nice. And this is how it looks now. They removed the lane to add the bikes. Very cool, and I've ridden down here a few times and it's actually really nice. The only problem is that it gets really dirty really fast. So yeah. And then we're gonna be looking at other lanes, which are actually quite decent, but don't have the amount of protection that is needed normally. Like right here on Avalon. It's a good bike lane. Like, I've actually ridden here quite a few times, just because it's just okay, you know? Don't come here at trash day though, as you can tell. You're gonna be riding on the street a lot. I made that mistake once. Never again. And it's fairly well marked. The street's fairly slow except when there's no traffic like right there. But this is back in 2019, so yeah. Most of the time it looks like that, so yeah, it's really not nice. It's also not nice when a bus cuts in front of you because they forgot to make traffic bus stop islands or something. That is very not cool, which is what brings it down from a blue to a light green. So yeah, could be better. You could remove the median. Let's see. What should I cover next? Oh yeah, Maine. Maine is a really interesting street because it is just kind of weird. Like, the city decided to care about it and then decided to not. Very weird street. I don't know any plans that want to, make it better. But it's probably one of the places that you want to make better because this is how it looks, right? And then they just decided to add some paint every once in a while. Like, okay. Yeah, none of these are good lanes. That's Sentry, by the way. Also not a cool lane. Yeah, it's just like they sort of forgot about it because I think they're trying to make it like Avalon, but failed miserably. So, yeah. That's one lane. It was actually quite old if I remember. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's one of the older lanes. They just painted that not too long ago then. Because I remember passing by through here, like, before the pandemic, and they hadn't painted that stuff. Yeah, they painted it when they repaved this. Yeah, anyways, still, very not cool. They just added some paint and expected it to be a world-class lane. And, yeah, that basically explains all. Ooh, this area. Yeah. I talk too much, probably. Let's see. This is one of the oldest lanes in all of LA. This was instituted in 1976, and it is very uncool. Why? It's normally blocked by LED WP. But it's still very nice as it's concrete protected. And it was the only one until like a year ago. So yeah, that makes it pretty cool. Then here there's no traffic ever, so it's nice. So I just decided to connect it. There's no traffic ever right there. You're perfectly safe going down there, and it's probably one of the safest I've felt. Just because it's empty. Completely empty. This is what I don't like. That intersection. Now that we've explained the types of bike lanes that there are, let's explain the limits for this area. Right here the limit will be Alameda, Slauson, the 110 freeway, and the 105 freeway. I feel like that's a fairly good representation of South LA as it includes quite a few sidewalk. Because you do not want to bike on the actual street. Just look at it. this is early in the morning. It's never gonna look like this when you're out biking. Never. This street gets crowded as hell. And the buses get even more crowded, as I can say as I take this line to school sometimes. Yeah. Alright, let's get started on the actual expansion. Okay. So I think we're gonna start on Firestone, because it is a really good street that has really bad bike lanes. Like, really bad. Out here, yeah, I've passed by there a few times. A few very many times. And I do not recommend this. Right there, that bus stop, when the middle school right there gets out, is so crowded you have to walk on the bike lane. You cannot walk anywhere else. It is that shitty here. You cannot do anything. So let's start off with this. Right here. I kind of want to make it up. Yeah, this is going to be a difficult one, because I don't want to remove a lane here, because this street is really important for people, so people don't use other streets that are much calmer, like Nadu, which Nadu's been getting very crowded recently. And recently, by the way. Not like, oh, it's always been like that. No, it's been getting crowded there. And most of the people just normally went down Firestone or Florence, but now go down Nadu. Which is not cool, because I used to use that on my bike. And yeah, it's just impossible now. Nadu also goes through quite a few high schools, like that one. And a few over here. So yeah, that's not very cool. And also, down here, it's a Shero, which I did not include on my map, because Sheros suck, in case you didn't know. Which I think everyone knew. Right here, there is more than enough space to add a protected bike lane. More than enough. But that's beside the point. Anyways, right here on Firestone, which is going to be one of the more difficult ones to actually deal with, I'm just gonna, I think I'm just remove parking. Most of the time, parking actually isn't even used here, which is pretty cool. So yeah, we're gonna remove parking, turn the parking into the bike lane, and add a nice buffer, then add a bus lane right here, and remove the median. Then just remove the bus lane with turning lanes, and protect the bike lanes with turning. I think that's gonna be a pretty good design, as all of the shops here, which most of them have actually died off recently, which is very understandable when the street in front of you looks like this. It's very crappy. And yeah, most shops already have parking right there. They don't need this parking. A lot of this parking is from residents, which would be the ones that were gonna be the first to stop using this. I knew a few kids from my old school that actually took the bus here and stopped taking it, and instead just walked from their home because the bus got so crowded and so slow. They're shitty right here. Very bad. There should be a bus lane and a bike lane right here. A bike lane that will actually be dignified. So, yeah. Next. Cooper, south of here. This just needs to be fixed. There is space right here on the median. Right there, that's 10 foot. Let me measure it. This is not official by any chance, but let me just measure it right there. Yeah, it's more or less around 5 meters. So yeah, there's gonna be more than enough space to take away the turning lane right there in the middle, and instead turn that into a bike lane right there, parking protected one, one that's raised to the sidewalk level. It would be really easy to implement here, as I've already told Public Works, just because of how low traffic the street is, and without the turning lane, traffic will become slower and calmer, making this a calm and great street. It was also meant to get bike lanes back in 2012, which I've heard nothing about ever since then, so yeah, not very cool. So let's add this into the network right here as a protected bike lane with asphalt. How do you guys pronounce asphalt actually? Do people here pronounce it asphalt or asphalt? I've heard different people say it differently, so I just want to know. If you want, put it in chat. I'm just curious which way you say it. Because personally, I think it's asphalt. I don't think there's any difference. Why isn't this doing anything? There you go. The purpose of this network and more. This lane acted as this lane would connect it to the rest of the South LA network, which I think I have a plan to how to do that. It would interconnect this area, which is completely different. This is the county of LA, this is the city of LA, to connect into one system, because right now there is no lanes that connect these two different networks. This is really a city of disconnected networks. There is nothing different. So, after adding this, we are going to then extend the Central Avenue Great Street right here. Central now has parking protected lanes, and I think they could be extended slightly further because there is no difference. I think LADOT just forgot about this area, so this is sorta. Where's Central? There we go. How do I expand this? Let's just add a new one. Central extension right here. Also, I don't think I'll turn this into a fully class 4 protected lane, just because it doesn't really need to. It's actually really good as it is right now. Maybe just add a few protected areas down here, by right here, the high school right there, just because that area has a ton of cars in the bike lane all the time, and that's not really cool. So yeah, I think I'd protect that area and then just keep it as is for the rest of it. Maybe add some metal or concrete bollards, just because it's actually really nice. Like, I've ridden it a few times. It's not bad at all. But yeah, there is a desperate need for a connection between the two areas, and I think this one would be a good connection, as this would interconnect the whole system of bike lanes right here. And I think this would be very well used, as now people who use Florence up here can now just ride down into South LA very easily too. And then right here, they wouldn't also need to use Central, which is a horrible road. Very horrible road. I have a market I go here, a corner store, and yeah, it's just not nice. It's an absolute horrible road. And then the bus line that goes through here is not very good. Gets stuck in traffic a lot, and it's just crappy. The people there that ride it are definitely a special breed of Los Angeles Transit passengers. That is for sure. Next, we need to upgrade this part of Hooper. So, let's just sorta upgrade it to a parking protected lane like the ones that are right here on Broadway. this would be really easy to implement, as right there, as you can tell, between the parking and there, it's just like around 3.5 meters, which would be more than enough space, as right here you have a buffered bike lane, and then you have right there cars parked, and then you have a turning lane right there, which if you don't already have enough space thanks to the buffered lane, you can still take away space from the turning lane. And then up here, you can make this buffered and parking protected by just removing the turning lane, the exact way that it was done down here. And actually, I think these are the same size, I think. Don't quote me on that though. 15 meters. And okay, it's a little bit wider, but it can still work out. Well, yeah, the bike lanes. Kinda forgot about that. So let's just put it behind the cars, and it should be quite nice. That would form the backbone of the whole network out here. No, change it. There you go. This would form the whole backbone of the network, going down from Slauson all the way down to Nixon Gardens and the poorest parts of LA. This would interconnect the city a lot, almost in the same way that Avalon did, which Avalon, I don't know why they didn't parking protect it the whole way. They did it for a small portion and then just didn't do it again. Like, are you okay? Right here they even did a bus island right there. Why didn't they do it anywhere else? Who knows? This whole street is the same width. There is no reason to not do this for the rest of the street. So we just get it for like a block or two. The city is sometimes just questionable. Right here I always speed through it really fast because it's a really nice area right here. If only they cleaned it up a bit more, and you can definitely make it a lot better. But they just didn't do it anywhere else, so that in itself would make it a much better street and get it up to a class 4 lane. Achievement. Yeah. Oh crap. There you go. Then there is this area, which just by removing these 2 lanes of traffic, which the city of LA decided to just keep right here, even though this area has no traffic problems, why? Now, thanks to that, we have this. I just ride on the sidewalk. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Just add some parking right there and add a buffer. It's not hard. Really is not hard. It actually is not hard at all. Thank you. Sometimes LADOT is just needs a small push. Yeah. Anyways, right here, 92nd Street, it's actually really nice. On 98th Street, actually. There are some actually decent lanes and an actually decent street. It was decenter right here because there's a whole pass right here, which is class 1 level. But then it just turns into this, which is no real way to fix it. But it doesn't really matter, as the whole time that I've ridden down this whole street, I only saw 2 cars actually driving by. It's just a neighborhood street, so it's good enough, you know. They could add a a lane right here in the middle, but you know, people use it as a gathering ground, and I'm okay with this. It's actually pretty nice. If only the city took more care of its lanes. So yeah, I think it's just gonna be kept like that. Very nice. Maybe add a tunnel under the 101, but I would not want to see that. And it would probably get filled with homeless people, if we're just trying to be honest here, because this lane's already quite filled with homeless people, and all the tunnels under the 101 are also. So I wouldn't hold my breath. Which is sad, and that could be fixed by adding more density around here, but it's just a state of things, you know. It's just how things are. And then we come to this area right here. Sentry. I think I already explained it before, but Sentry is almost beyond being saved just because of how bad it is. Like, how can you even fix this? You have Broadway right here with a nice class 4 lane right there, which could be added concrete. Like right here, just add some concrete, and there's a bit of concrete. And checking out this area, it could just turn into dark green. Easily. Just, yeah. It's a really good lane. That could be better, but yeah, just add a tiny bit of concrete. Maybe add some bus lanes right here, which I'm pretty sure they're gonna add bus lanes here thanks to the Broadway BRT, which is gonna be great. Now you have car lane, bus lane, parked cars, and a concrete protected bike lane. This is gonna be a really good street. You see, his traffic almost never fucking happens. I've only seen it like twice riding through here at rush hour. Almost never happens any traffic through here. Just because the 110 freeway is right there. It's right there. Just take the freeway. Then right there, they could just add a park in the middle, which would be really cool. You know, a nice gathering place for the local shop owners. Maybe narrow it a little and add more sidewalk, because the amount of sidewalk is. It's not a lot of sidewalk, that's for sure. It's just kind of depressing. I don't think you could even fit a wheelchair through there, so I don't think it's even ADA accessible, so. Yeah, like, add a bit of concrete there, and, like, add a bunch of concrete on the bike lane, right there on the buffer, like, add some trees, narrow that, the median a bit, and, add the bike lanes a bit over, and it would be good enough, but, you know. Yeah, it's definitely not good. Okay, so next we go on to Main and San Pedro, which I think could easily be fixed by just adding a buffer. Right here on Main, there's a median right here, so just adding a buffer would be nice. Yeah, sometimes the lane just disappears, which is not cool. Nice buffer right there. Just adding that would be nice. They recently extended it too, if I remember. Yeah. So yeah, just adding a buffer right there, and some traffic diverters. Like, Main doesn't need to be a complete crosstown street, nor does San Pedro. So if you just added a traffic diverter on 98th right here, just diverted traffic, like adding a thing that would just go like this. Like that, to just divert traffic to the street. would be really cool. That way it can be used as just a crosstown like area, like adding a nice large concrete area and like a nice concrete median and quite a few metal signs that could just fix the street with a nice buffer. Same thing for San Pedro, that would bring it up to a nice teal. Not teal, light green. There you go. Nice upgraded lanes through there. This would also form a very nice comprehensive network in the deepest parts of South LA. And along with a nice lane on 92nd, it could also just completely revolutionize this area. With a very nice protected bike lane network, it could definitely be a game changer for this area. So if we just added a brand new lane through here, all the way through there, the 92nd, brand new 92nd one, and just made it right there. Just remove that one. There you go. That would form a very nice comprehensive network through there. But one piece of infrastructure is missing right here. And that is Sentry. Sentry has shown it could have very good protected bike lanes. You can see right there. So just extending those, you know, like a normal person. Yeah, that would be appreciated. Yeah, I don't really have anything more to say about that. Just extend that one area that you've already done. Then out here, by the brand new redeveloped Jordan Downs, there's a small area right here, which it goes from trashy bike lane to no bike lane. So maybe you could just remove the cars on this side of the road and just add a two-way lane. Yeah. Which would actually be decent as right there, less people would need to use cars, as there's a whole massive bike network now through this area. The density through here is also massive. And I mean massive. Density is really good through here. It is Watts after all. This would also form a very good network of really good lanes. Just look at this. Beautiful. Beautiful. And then just remove the old parts of Sentry. Not well. Great. Just remove that. Just remove these two unconnected stubs, and boom, you have a good lane. Also, right here, you might say, oh, why didn't you also add it right here through this new redeveloped Jordan Downs? The answer to that is, there's no real space to do that. You need to drastically change the street design, thanks to those. And these lanes aren't that bad, actually. The street is fairly low speed, too. They just added a traffic diverter right there. It's just gonna be a normal area. Normal, very good area. There's also a recreation center right there, so slowing down cars so that they have to be forced to right turn would be cool. So just removing that. Just making the super sentry. Let's see. Yeah, South LA already has a ton of lanes all over the place. It's just that they're trash. They're not interconnected or anything. They just sort of exist in their own worlds, which is not very good for connectivity. So yeah, haven't actually added. I've just added 2 lanes to this whole mess. One of them is this part of Century, and the other one is 92nd Street. And there you go. This, right here, at least in this area, is a very good network of lanes. And then we have Watts again. Right here, there could easily be an extended lane down Wilmington, which I will add right here. Wilmington all the way down to the blue line. Well, it's the A and C lines now. All the way down to there, and then just connect it to the current class 4 two-way bike path right here. And there you go. Right here, I think I'll make this one, I think I'll make Wilmington just a regular class 2 buffer, because if you look at Wilmington, there isn't really much space. I actually don't think there's space for even a buffer. Yeah, right here, it has to be a Shero or removed parking, which I'll go for removed parking on one side. But yeah, it's really not good. Or actually, just a diverter right there. Just a diverter right there would be good enough. And then after this, yeah, there doesn't seem to be much space. Yeah, you'd have to remove a whole lane of parking, which is okay, you know. It's alright. And it also have to be a two-way bike pass. So, yeah. I think I'll just make it green instead of dark green. And, there you go. Now that part of South LA also has a good lane. Then right here just... yeah. Up to there, and that should be good. But then you might say, oh, what about a connection through here? Well, that's a great question, because I just thought of that. So, right here, a good connection would probably be to add multi-use paths down the crap, I just completely forgot about my words. It would probably be a good idea to add a full class 1 bike pass or multi-use pass down the El Segundo sub, which I would also consider not destroying the train tracks, as it would be very cool to also turn that into a Metrolink service all the way down to LAX, because the El Segundo sub actually has a connection all the way down to LAX if you just added a connection right here to the harbor sub in that area. But this area of the harbor sub is not taken over. You just added a small connection right there and added a station at Aviation LAX where they could then transfer to the C or K lines or the Green Line shuttle. It would be fairly useful, as it would go directly to LAX from Union Station. But there would be no way to actually take it into LAX. So maybe a people mover stub down through here? I don't know. I think there's some bus lanes. Okay. Anyways, back to what we were talking about down here. Right here, on 109th Street or 108th. It's 108th Street. Okay, yeah, 108th Street already has bike lanes through here. Except through here, but through here it goes through a few good areas. And it also goes to the blue line right there. So 108th Street all the way up to this multi-use corridor would be a good addition. So let's get to the drawing board. Connection all the way down to Broadway. This also goes through some of the poorest parts of LA, so yeah. This line would go through the actual poorest parts of LA and through some of the most disinvested in the whole city. Because just look at this area, man. It's actually quite sad. I went to the pool down in this area for a while, and yeah, it's very disinvested in. Just look at these goddamn crossings. And it's just sad going through this area just because, you know, it's Watts, alright? So yeah, this would actually help quite a few people with increased bus service down Broadway with the BRT. So yeah, with increased Broadway service as a kind of J-line local, it would be actually quite good. All the way up to 103rd Street. This is nice. I cannot spell. El Segundo multi-use pass. Nice teal color. And also wider because it is important. Actually, I think I made it too wide. There we go. Along with that one though, a 108th Street pass would be cool. 108th Street with traffic calming and also buffered class 2 lanes would be very good. Then right there you'd have to figure out something for Central. And then all the way down to here. Nice. With that connection, you have all of Watts and this area of South LA completely very well served. There would be no place where you could not bike. And along with some calm streets all around the area, like adding some traffic diverters down Downtown Avenue on all the streets would be very cool. So, oh wait, crap. Yeah, that meant to be blue. Yep, this is meant to be blue. Oops, I forgot about my own key. Alright. And then teal for... where's town again? There we go. Right here, traffic diverters and up and a Shero down the street would be, well, as I just said, it would be a nice addition, as it would mean there would be no crosstown routes through all the side streets, which would drastically decrease traffic. And with just a small cutout in the middle for bikes, it would be very good. gonna be a great street because it's actually gonna be a great street. It's gonna have a lot of connections, and it's going to just remove a lot of the crosstown routes, decreasing speeds and decreasing traffic fatalities through this area. So teal. Now it would really be impossible to not bike through here. Ah, yeah. Okay. So now that we're done with South LA, let's go to this area, Florence. This area has zero connections to the rest of the bike network. Why? Who the hell knows? They just don't like us, I guess. So, Florence needs fully protected bike lanes. That is not an option. It needs it. It genuinely, absolutely needs it. Though Florence, all the way down through here, like, Florence after Central becomes into a really crappy street. There's no one walking, the bus stops become abandoned all of a sudden, and there's a bunch of homeless people now. Just because of how much of a car-centric street it becomes after Central. Which is all the fault of LADOT. After Central, it's actually a really good street, which I walk down, and which has a lot of schools, tons upon tons of shops, tons of people walking, especially in Huntington Park. It's just that LADOT just decided to forget about it, so yeah. Adding this area would support businesses through here and absolutely revolutionize this area of the city. There really wouldn't be much of an option. It would absolutely revolutionize this area of the city. So, this is gonna be an absolute bikeway. So, Florence? Right now, there is no plans to add a bike lane here. There used to be, but they just got scrapped. Metro. This one was actually on Metro though. Metro decided to scrap this bike lane pass. This wasn't on LADOT or LA County. This was moved to Metro, as I've seen on the 2012 bike plan. This was part of Metro. They decided to ignore it and not add anything, which is just screwed up on so many levels. They screwed up local businesses. They screwed up everyone who commutes down here. They caused massive amounts of bike fatalities down this street. Caused a ton of traffic accidents. Lowered the quality of life for people that live down this stretch of street. And finally now, next year, they're gonna be thinking of adding new bus lanes. Bus lanes without bike lanes. The bus lanes are supposed to be the Shero. And they're only open for a certain amount of the day. So it just means it's never gonna be actually usable. Yeah. It's just fucked up. Like, really fucked up. Anyways, now that this is done, this will probably become the most used part of the system. So what do we do now after this, you might ask? Well, here comes one of my most out there parts of this whole thing. Right here. On Alameda. There is a freight track right here, right? This thing, I don't think gets any use, but I haven't bothered investigating it because why the hell would I? It was filled with homeless people a while ago before they completely fenced it off. So yeah, I don't think trains run through here. So, what if we destroyed it and added a new fully bike pass all the way down Alameda to connect this whole area, just like what was done on Slauson. All of this, all the way up to Florence, which is all of this area is City of LA or LA County, which both of those areas are actually open to making bike lanes, unlike Huntington Park, which decided to just say, fuck you, now fuck off. I'm planning on going to a few town hall meetings in Huntington Park, but they're casually when I'm in the middle of school, so I probably won't be able to go there too much, but I'm gonna try. Because Huntington Park is just so bike phobic, like Jesus Christ. One kid from my school almost got run over. He got thrown off the street by some guy on a car. And that's just supposed to be normal? Like, Huntington Park is wild, man. And there's nothing that could really be done. So, I don't see if I could do anything. Probably nothing. So, yeah. That's gonna be that. I also probably shouldn't have said that, because, I have my voice on the internet, so, yeah. Okay. Multi-discuss. Right there. Oh, right there. Yep. Anyways, this would just connect the entirety of this area. All of this area would now be connected with basically a ring road of highly protected lanes right here. Very cool. And it would also be surrounded by transit, which, something cool about this is that all of South LA is almost completely surrounded by transit, except up here on Slauson. It's almost fully encased by transit. We got the A line, the C line, and the J line. And we have a ton of bus lines right here, like the 111 and the 108, and the line that Metro decided to casually forget that is very important, the 115. Those three lines form a massive amount of ridership, closer to 300,000 riders in a day. On a weekday, obviously. So yeah, they're quite important. When you do 300,000 riders on a weekday, so I think that's pretty important. Not gonna lie, fairly important. None of these have bus lanes, by the way, and only one is planning on getting a bus lane, and none are getting service increases. Yeah, that's not very cool, Metro. Not very cool. Anyways, right here, we need to connect the Bandera. So I think just adding a nice traffic diverter right there on Bandera. Let's see. Right here, traffic diverter through here and here. Traffic diverters. Traffic diverters through there, and then a buffered class 2 lane going up Bandera. Adding new traffic lights and traffic diverters along the way. I've actually used this a decent amount of times, and it's quite important street section because, it's literally the only calm connection between these two areas, and it's the only one that has a crosswalk on 92nd Street, which is quite important, as 92nd Street is not very cool, at least currently, which I hope will be fixed by the buffered class 2 lane on it and increased traffic lights, which I am completely falsely thinking about because there's no way the city of LA and LA County would ever consider this. Especially because this would be in between the two cities, so there'd have to be a cooperation between LADOT and Los Angeles Public Works, which is no way that will happen, as that hasn't happened before, which is why these two networks are disconnected. Anyways, let me just calm down for a second. Let me take a drink of water. I recommend drinking water. Stay hydrated. Okay, so right here on Bandera, there would be a brand new class 2 buffer. Yeah, actually no, class 2 two-way bike pass, like the one that's down here, would actually probably be nicer. Oh, this was from before that. Okay. So yeah, like right here there's some paint. Like, something like this down Bandera would be nice. And then just make it a nice teal. Teal. Nice light green. Through there, something like what I just showed you, very nicely done through there. This area, I didn't actually explain it before. I want it to look kind of like this on 17th Street. You might think of 17th Street in Santa Monica and think, oh, so the area that has concrete barriers, like right here. No, I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about this. This could easily be added on Hooper after Firestone, as the utilities are already right there, and the turning lane has more than enough space to accommodate this. So there wouldn't really be much utility relocation, so that would actually be a really nice area to start off with. Alright, so let's go back to where we're actually talking to. Yeah, right here on Bandera, that would also interconnect this area, but it still wouldn't be too good, actually. So let's add a brand new lane all the way down Compton from Imperial. By the way, I'm not changing Imperial. Imperial is going to be shit whatever I do. There's no way that thing will be changed ever. I know I'm being already quite out there, but even I can't ever imagine a world where Imperial is in a shithole, so I would just leave it like that. Don't think I just forgot about it. I just don't think there's a way you can change that thing. I think that'll always be a bike mower. Anyways, Compton all the way up to 92nd Street as Compton all the way up to 92nd as a unbuffered lane, you know, just calm. Just a calm street, you know. Right there as a calm street right there, and then after 92nd Street, it widens quite a lot. So, right here, I think a good choice would be doing the same thing we did on Firestone, which would be adding a new bus and bike lanes, removing a lane of traffic, and removing the turning lanes. All the way up Compton, all the way up to here. Where Compton just stays the same size, but still with a very good bus line all throughout it. It also almost never gets traffic. I used to go to a school in front of it, so most of the time it's just really loud cars, and only when the kids get out of school is there ever any traffic, so I think it's gonna be pretty easy to just remove a traffic lane. Maybe without bus lanes, just bus islands. right here, north-south is really well served, and that's because north-south is the primary area, except for Florence and Sentry and Firestone, that there's really much traffic, which is why I'm focusing so much on that area. But it's very much still a grid. Then right here, I forgot about Firestone. Right, so that area of Firestone deserves this green. Though this area of Firestone deserves a much strong color, as this area needs to be a lot more protected. So through here, I think I'll just give it the good old dark green treatment. There we go. As this one connects to the J line station, and between the A line and the J line, I think it would be good to add bus lanes. And also, completely unrelated to this, adding bus lanes in Southgate, which I made a video on, would be very nice, as right there, the buses, especially after the future West Santa Ana branch line station, right there, the bus gets completely full. There is no space to sit down or stand. Many times the bus just skips by, which, yeah, that's not good, especially when Southgate is adding more lanes and expanding it on Central. So yeah, that's not very cool. Not very cool. So yeah, this part of Central, just adding an extended sidewalk with a bike share on the bus lanes would be good enough. So I'm gonna just lower it down. There you go. So it'll technically just be a Shero with some bus lanes. There you go. Okay. So this is the current map. As you've noticed, I've added bike lanes on almost every single street. So let's add some new traffic calming on 79th Street. I don't know where I was going with that one. 79's all the way to the high school right there, then down, then all the way through there, and all the way through there. Actually no, only all the way up to Central. After that, nice. Yep, it's right there as the street widens a lot. 76. After that, the street widens a lot, and it could use with a lot of traffic calming and turning it into a commercial street, as a lot of businesses there are struggling quite a lot. As you can tell, my voice is starting to die out now. Oh no. Then just all the way down to Alameda, right there. Ta-da. I have no clue how to spell that street. I think it's like that. Anyways, yeah, just make it a great straight right there. to save local businesses, as right there that street's also struggling, and it's also getting quite a bit of density. Right here. Massive new apartment complex. There's quite a bit of factories around here too, which could easily be turned into brand new apartment complexes, as the industry here died out in the 60s and 70s, which left this area as one of the poorest in LA, before slowly starting to recover and turning into what it is today. But this area along the A-line between Compton and Holmes, that area, you can still see the effects that the industry moving out left. It's pretty sad through there. So yeah, right there, removing a lot of the remaining industry and turning it into apartments and other stuff that will actually make money and give jobs back to the people would be really good. And turning this into a better street has the opportunity to kind of gentrify the area a bit, so that the infrastructure could come back into this area, and hopefully turn that street into another good street. Which, another effect I hadn't mentioned on all of this area. This area is one of the last remaining areas that hasn't been gentrified, and it's struggling really bad. Down here in South LA, which is where the majority of my bike lanes are. Right here have all the projects right there in Watts, and then in between you just have areas like this, you know. Down Avalon is probably the center of it all. Right here I've recorded the train a few times passed by, and yeah, it's just sad. This area was never good, but after the Watts riots and the 92 uprising, it's never been the same again. And I wasn't even there through that. I was born very much after that. But you can still see the effects that all of that has left very easily across this area of the city. This area will never be the same again, which is why giving it good infrastructure and adding new lanes and new infrastructure would be so great. Anyways, right here, this area basically set up already. There's no real need to add anything else there. It's not dense actually compared to the rest of the city. Right here, not only is there a massive industrial area right there, but after the industrial area between the freeway and there's really like no real density and no real places to traffic calm. It's just sort of existing. Yeah, like just adding a lane down Broadway would be good enough. Yep, just adding a lane down Broadway, and that area should be set up already. Really isn't dense. Oh, wait, crap. I missed that area. Yeah, that's not good. Yeah. I messed it up, sorry. All the way up. There you go. And this area, I'm pretty sure, is already slated to be redeveloped with the Great Broadway project. So, yeah. Along with the BRT through there, it really won't need anything else, this area, I think. So yeah, it just sort of exists through there. Then obviously the Alameda bikeway. The Alameda Motis Pass. There you go. And that, I would say, is a very good bike network. Actually, no, I think I'm gonna add one more Sharo through here. Oh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I can't remember what street it was. Let me check. Okay, it was, yep, it was 60th Street. Yeah, down 60th Street, a brand new Sharo from Holmes. Then an extra protected area down, down Compton, all the way down to Gage, which we would then turn Gage into a brand new pedestrianized street. Pedestrianized street all the way up to there. Pedestrianized street through there would be useful, and not only that, but it also won't have any impact on traffic, as there really isn't anything on Gage. Just add a bus lane through the middle. Easy. And there you go. That is the city of LA's complete bike lane network finished. Wow, that took a while. That sure took a while. Let's see. 50 minutes. Nice. Yeah, that should be it for the stream. Alright, there wouldn't really be much areas that you could go through that aren't already served by bikes. This really would be a great bike network. Tell me in live chat and the comments for people that are watching the VOD if you guys would have any recommendations, because I think personally from my own use in this area that this would be really good. And yes, I agree with you. Dan 30 End. Yes, it looks great. Now, bye.